If you guys want to do some bottom bouncing for demersal I generally suggest water bigger than 20 meters. The water column will potentially have different current. The boat will be moving with the wind as well. So there are a couple of important things to consider regarding rod and line versus the kind of hook that you're using. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about that, just increase your performance when you do this kind of fishing. So let's imagine that we have your boat in here. Water column, let's keep in consideration water deeper than 20 meters. I reckon that works quite well. The line will always pick some current because the boat will be drifting with the wind. Potentially the current will push the same direction. Let's imagine that for the sake of this example. So obviously when you drop a line, your line will always gonna have some sort of belly, okay? This particular belly will obviously depend on how strong is the wind and obviously how fast your boat is moving, but also how strong is the current. Sometimes you may have multiple current depending on the depth, and your line will pretty much just create a very weird drop. Something that we can all agree on is that deeper is the depth, more belly your line will potentially have. If your line has no tension, you also lose a big degree of sensitivity when the fish will bite your hook. So there are a couple of ways to increase the tension and obviously reduce the slack line that you have below your boat. Probably one of the main thing that got to be considered is the kind of line you're using. For this particular situation, braid is the way to go. Mono simply will give you too much stretch. And the rod and the hook will have to be matched together. What I'm saying with this is if you guys are using a J hook, the J hook needs a slightly stiffer rod and potentially a much higher tension on your line in order to set the hook when the fish pull. For this situation, again, on water deeper than 20 meters, I generally suggest circle hooks. Now, circle hooks will give you, having the point toward the shank, the circle hooks will work in a slightly different way. So even if you lose a bit of sensitivity due to belly, the circle hooks works on pressure. So once the fish will grab your bait and move away, simply the pressure due to the line that the fish will pull behind will just set the hook for you without the need to set the hook using your rod. On shallow water, that whole system may work slightly different, and that's where J hooks will be pretty good as well. But in this situation where you have slack line and you lose sensitivity, highly recommend the use of circle hooks. But in this situation where you have slack line, the use of circle hook will be highly recommended.